Everybody, Steve DeLaviaga, Rise Up. It's our Sales Excellence podcast. I am so excited about our guest today. One of the all-time great guys and entrepreneurs in real estate, also one of the most knowledgeable mortgage professional practitioner, real estate partners I know, the mortgage coach, Mr. Dave Savage. David, how are you, brother?
Hey, I'm doing good, brother. It's good to be here. I'm fired up.
Really good to have you. All right. So for folks that don't know, Dave, like it's so, when I listen to you talk about it, it sounds so simple, right? The mortgage coach, transparency to the consumer, walking them through. But you and I said it, people just don't do math well. They just don't, right? So maybe walk through how you got started in this, your vision, how you started out becoming someone who works with over 10,000 loan officers across the U.S.
Yeah. So I was a loan officer over, I guess it's been a couple of decades now. I started Mortgage Coach because I wanted to have a competitive advantage. I wanted to be able to talk to a family and say, my advice matters, and that to be visually obvious and intellectually obvious. And so people think, oh, I'm a coach to loan officers. And yeah, I interview a lot of loan officers. We do a lot of training. We do a lot of coaching, but we turn mortgage professionals into mortgage coaches so that when a family is getting into debt, whether they're buying their first home, they're moving up, they're refinancing, they're getting options. It's a multi-channel platform. It's a mobile app. They can stream video. We're making loan officers coaches. And I did it as a competitive advantage back in the day.
Right. And here's what I love about it. Your mission in this is to really help the consumer understand money better, because they just don't.
They absolutely don't. I mean, there's so many people that are renting that if they really looked at renting versus owning over 3 years, over 5 years, over 7 years, they wouldn't be renting anymore. And there's a lot of people that would be moving up right now. Like, it's a low inventory market. There's a whole lot of move up buyers that have equity. If one thing won in 2020, it was equity. And they don't realize, you know what? You can sell that home. You could move into this home. A lot of people could buy non-contingent, and they just don't know the numbers. And so I just think loan officers need to be mortgage coaches, and they need to help family know how to build wealth with real estate faster by making better mortgage decisions.
Got it. And how many total loan officers engage with you over the course now? What do you got? How many people using your software?
And you cut out there. I didn't hear that last thing.
How many people using your software overall now across the U.S.?
So we have over 12,000 loan officers using Mortgage Coach. We've got 7 of the top largest lenders that have us built into their platform, and over 100 lenders that have it built in. But the number I'm most proud of is how many families get a total cost analysis for Mortgage Coach. And last year, 1.7 million were created for families and 5.5 million views. So we're reshaping how people get into debt and helping them do it in a better way. I
love it. I love it. So how long have you been doing this? You've been doing this a long time.
I have been doing this a long time. It's been over 20 years. You know, it's been my life work. I am a technology entrepreneur now. So I've done other technology startups in between Mortgage Coach, but we've been at it for a long time.
I love it. So now let's move into a little bit now. You and I got talking to each other. We have some mutual clients in our lender space together. And then we started talking about how you did this modern loan officer summit. We said, let's do something in real estate. So talk about your vision for the modern real estate summit. I think it's such a perfect time to do this. You and I talked for like an hour. We were so aligned. We were finishing each other's sentences about the vision and how this looked and felt. So talk about your vision for that and why you think it's so important to do right now. But more than ever, people also need real estate coaches as consumers for what their options are.
Well, I mean, here's the deal. I think I was a local referral-based mortgage professional. All of my customers are local referral-based mortgage customers. And let's face it, guys, the machine is coming. There are big brands that are building technology, and everything that can be automated will be automated. But I'm very bullish and believe in the local provider, that if the local provider uses technology, uses video, builds a personal brand, they can kill it for a decade to come. But they need to be modern. It means they need to use their CRM hourly. It means they need to use video. They need to use social media. They need to use links to give advice. They need to do Zoom and YouTube channels. So they need to be modern. So while I am passionate about giving modern mortgage advice, I'm passionate about local providers being relevant for a decade to come. So we did an event for the mortgage industry. We had almost 10,000 like 9,700 or no, 9,937 tickets. And it was a huge success. I mean, we killed it. And so I'm like, you know what? We got to bring that same formula to the real estate industry. And what made it magic is that everyone on that stage was a practitioner. There's someone that's relevant in the market today, doing a lot of volume. The content, it's micro content. Like, I do believe no matter how compelling you are, unless it's a Netflix show, it's hard to watch an hour on Zoom. Long content, long presentations aren't the thing. So we're going to have keynotes. That's our longest content in this Modern Real Estate Summit, and they're 18 minutes or less. We're going to have 6 or 7 of those. And then we're going to have lots of content that's like 3 and 5 minutes long. And it's how to do things that modern real estate professionals need to know how to do. So think about it. Some baller top producers that you respect are putting together these great 18-minute keynotes. And then people equally as great are creating this 3 and 5 minute, how to do this, how to do that, how to do the things that top modern real estate professionals need to know how to do.
I love it. And a couple words in there for everybody that are key. Number one, practitioners. We don't want theorists. I don't want, respectfully, people that haven't sold a house in 30 years that are maybe a great vision or coach but haven't done the work. We wanted tactics, practical, a strategy actually working today. All of these people, there's no sell here. Nobody's going to be selling you anything afterwards. You're going to get 100% of that content given to you that you can then keep and download and have for the next 30, 60, 90 days, depending on which area you're in. And the reality is there will be 1 to 3 nuggets in every presentation. You could have enough content to build your business and double it over the next 2 and 3 years and still not run out. That's the coolest part of this thing, is that we are only doing actual practitioners, best in class. We're going to be delivering it. So April 7th, correct, David?
Yeah, April 7th, it will be live. And for, the tickets, $99, just go to modernrealestatesummit.com, or maybe there'll be a link below wherever you're at. And the cool thing is, while we do think a lot of people will watch it live, and we did, we sold, we had over 9,000 tickets sold, but we had over 6,000 people watching it live for 80% of the content. But you'll also have access to it for 30 days. So I do think, and we can see the metrics for the Modern Mortgage Summit. A lot of people watched it live, and then everybody kind of came in and watched different episodes at different times. So it's going to be like a 6-hour event, and it's the ultimate fire hose. We're not saying, hey, everybody's going to sit and watch a 6.5-hour live event, but you'll have it for 30 days. So you can see what you want to see, and lots of great content from amazing producers.
1,000%. We've also got some of our corporate partners who are wanting to be sponsors, who will have tickets to give away should they choose to. So it's going to it'll be the largest attended virtual or live real estate event in 2021. You're going to have over 10,000 people on there looking at things. So we're really excited about it. There'll be a link at the bottom of the podcast. All right. So Dave, let's crystal ball a little bit, right? And you talked about some things, big tech's coming, things are coming. That's correct. And the truth is there's going to be a war between a closed ecosystem and an open ecosystem. Right. That local best-in-class provider is still going to they have a chance. People always say it's going to replace the realtor, replace the loan officer. That's not true. There will be a number of realtors and a number of loan officers that don't make it to what the future looks like. But for the really good ones, no chance they can be eliminated because they can be relevant. But what does the next 12 to 18 months look like in real estate? What do you see?
Well, I mean, I think we're going to continue to see, technology advancements. And that was a pretty profound announcement from Zillow last week, where in a number, I think 20 some odd markets, and, that Zillow estimate is now like Zillow buy a home, click a button. So, we're just going to continue to see that Zillification, that Amazon play out. But guys, here's what the deal is. And if you were in a specialty retailer, there's an acronym I'm not making this up. It's WACD. So if you were a Nordstrom's executive for the past decade, you've been WACDing your business. What Amazon can't do. And if you're a real estate professional, put a Z in it. What Amazon and Zillow can't do, you need to do. And then here's the deal. If you're a local provider, you not only need to do what they can't do, you got to do what they can do. So you got to make it easy to do transactions. You've got to automate wherever you can. I do think it's going to become more and more clear to the real estate and mortgage professional. It's like, oh, I'm old school. Here's the deal. You're going to get crushed, not by the machine. You're going to get crushed by local, modern providers that are doing it all. They're giving local value, they're giving personal value, and they're automating everything. They're doing what Amazon can't do, and they're doing what Amazon can do, and they're going to kill it, and they're going to take market share from you. So it really comes down to, you're running this race and you want to win. Again, assuming you want to win the race, and you've got a choice. I'm going to go uphill with the wind at my face, means I'm going to keep being old school, not doing video, not using my CRM. If you're a mortgage professional, not using Mortgage Coach. Or am I going to go downhill with the wind at my back? That means I'm going to adopt technology. I'm going to adopt platforms. I'm going to be a modern real estate professional. So I think you're just seeing an acceleration of that. I think it's an acceleration. I just interviewed Dan Rawich, who's been our chief economist for over a decade at Mortgage Coach. From an interest rate perspective, it's going to be a roller coaster this year. We kind of started with really ridiculously low, historically low rates. They've spiked up a little bit lately. Here's what I believe. I believe that we'll see them even lower than they were again. And I think we will see them even higher than they were last week. It's going to go up and down, but it's going to be in a really good purchase market position. If you are, your local market well, you're proactively reaching out with your clients, you're using technology, I think it's just going to be incredible for those providers.
As you've talked about with me, $1 trillion less in volume refi, but easily made up in purchase if you've built your realtor referral network, which is key. I think a couple of things we outlined here. Number one, kind of like America, the middle of America is having a harder time because there's just less ways to engage. Middle real estate's in big trouble.
Yeah.
8 to 12 a year, referral based, members of a country club, just kind of go around, meet people. Hey, that good old boy, I call it, mentality in real estate is being eroded slowly in a really good market. In a really bad market, it gets just washed out. And here's the reality. People are either going to be business owners or they're going to be members of a team. Both are okay. But that middle of just kind of dabbling and not really having a profession to it, that's going to get harder and harder and harder because there's never been this much public money in the fight trying to get the consumer's attention. Our realtors are smart, have multiple spokes of business. They'll play with Zillow and Realtor.com and Realty.com and Google and all the rest of it. But what they won't do is just keep staying in their own little swim lane as their blinders get longer. The problem is people become a victim of their own, what I call lip sync success. The reality is the ones that become modern, to your point, they're going to have more business they can ever worry about. They're fine. You can't get rid of them because they're too relevant. But the ones that haven't evolved or changed are going to slowly eke their way out. If you look at market share, it's already happening. It's happening with title companies. It's happening with some of our lenders. It's happening with some of our brokerages.
Yeah, and you made a really good point. Another part of being modern, it's not just technology, it's leadership. You're seeing modern professionals are building teams. They're great leaders. They're great leaders in their market. They're using social media and creating content to bring leadership, and they're building teams. So I think that's another really good point you made there, Steve. And when we do the Modern Real Estate Summit, when we did the Modern Mortgage Summit, we were very strategic in that it wasn't just a tech show. Leadership is part of being a modern mortgage professional. Marketing, creating social media, building a personal brand is part of being a modern mortgage professional. Strategically getting to the consumer first and building brands in your local marketplace, that's being modern.
The reality is real estate will always be a local business, but it doesn't mean you can't think globally or technically, because in the end, that is your brand is going to be your only differentiator. People like choice. They always will, right? And if you can build something, people are like, oh, it's going to be cheaper. Commission compression is real. It's happening in real estate. I know it happened in lending after 08 as well. The reality is it's going to happen, but price is only an issue in the absence of value. Our realtors that can explain their value, they're selling the largest asset most human beings will ever buy in their lives. You should be able to explain why you're better and different and what that looks like. And if you can't, then you're going to continue to see compression, because the reality is that's where the tech people are going to go.
Yeah.
Um,
And if you
Dave,
don't
how
mind,
about before in
I tell one story and show one strategy.
Sure, sure.
So this is a mutual client of ours, someone that we both know well. Amber Kovark in Chandler, Arizona, is absolutely a modern mortgage professional. You know, she's putting a video on everything she's doing. And guys, this is a huge opportunity in the marketplace, guys, where if your loan officer's not doing this, you're missing out. But she had a client that said, "Hey, I'm thinking about refinancing. Does it make sense? And I also would like a bigger home. And does that make sense?" So, you know, this is what a modern mortgage professional does, is they say, "Hey, you know, you can save some money, you can save a couple $100 a month. Or, you know what, you qualify to move up non-contingent and with 5% down, and you could move up and your payment would go up $507 a month. So you could also move up, sell your home. They have equity. They have 125,000 in equity, which, by the way, is lower than the national average now, which I think is 188. And you could take that 125 and you could, after you buy that home, recash your payment, pay that 125 till principal. And a lot of borrowers don't know this. Like, you mean I could move up, get a bigger bedroom in a better school district, and my payment could go down $164? People don't know that. And most loan officers don't know how to show and tell that story. Now, what this client decided to do is they said, "You know what? I got that equity. And instead of getting the lower payment and recasting my payment, what if I invested that with my financial planner at 6%? Check out what would happen, guys." Now, you could have also said, "Hey, what if you took that money and bought an investment property? Or what if you took that money and bought a second home?" At the end of the day, guys, this is what modern mortgage professionals do, is they are able to say, "Hey, family, you're thinking about refinancing, but let's make the numbers clear." So I just wanted to tell that story because so many real estate agents, they don't even know what good mortgage advice is. They think good mortgage advice is just helping someone qualify for a loan. No, no, no. Good mortgage advice is helping someone qualify and close a loan on time. And it's helping them build wealth with real estate by moving up when it makes sense to move up, when going from renting to owning makes sense. Like, a good mortgage advice is about building wealth with real estate.
I love it. So we understand that, you know, the world is changing. You've got all of these entities that now have public money, which is very different than private. They can be more aggressive and do things. Do you see consolidation in both the real estate and mortgage markets?
Of course. You know, again, you kind of said it, you're either going to be working for a team or you're going to be leading a team. And again, I don't want to doom and gloom, you know, yeah, will there be exceptions to that rule? Will there be some people that can hold out? Absolutely. But you're not going to grow the same. I mean, the growth is going to happen from the do-it-yourself, big brands that are automating things, making it easy to do it yourself, invest. I mean, look at the Robinhood app in investing and how that's exploded and what technology is doing to the stock, to trading stocks. Think about how that's changed over the past decade. So I think real estate will do the same, but I do believe that realtors that use platforms, that use technology, that automate, drive efficiencies, build team around that, build personal brands, they're going to crush it.
I believe this: the open ecosystem of best in class will absolutely always have a place and will win out in the end. If you take an Amber Kovark, put her with one of our top teams, Group 4610, Brett Tanner, combine that as their team of, you've got a title entity, you've got a top mortgage partner, you've got a top team, that group can always serve the consumer at least as good and most times better, because that best in class ecosystem works, right? It's the same reason why Redfin agents and employees have a harder time than our elite Keller Williams, EXPs, et ceteras, generating large amounts of business, because it's just different talent levels. Open ecosystem will win, but that ecosystem has to remember people is more important than tech. So you've got to keep engaging people. You have to have a platform, but you still got to have a high human capital talent level or it won't work. You and I have been in an unprecedented uptick, right, in the marketplace. How much longer does this thing go? I mean, I think rates might be low forever from what you and I remember them as, but how much longer do we have an
I don't know
uptick?
forever. Well, I think, I've been doing this now for a long time, 1987. So long
All
time.
right.
And I think one thing's for sure, it goes up, it goes down. Now, when it
Okay.
comes to interest rates, they're definitely going to be trading on the lower side, but ups and downs. But I mean, real estate, obviously there's going to be a bust again because we're humans and that's what we do. But it's hard to see that bust in the next couple of years. Supply and demand. I do think, builders are going to kill it. I mean, what's happened, this movement of people working out of their home, that's here to stay. So I just think it's a big opportunity. Second homes are a massive opportunity. Moving people up, moving people down, massive opportunity. I would just make the case, you need to help families visualize that picture. Family, what's your hopes? What are your dreams? What are your goals? And then make it clear. Like, give them a plan. And an Excel spreadsheet isn't so simple and clear. That's what we do for lenders, Mortgage Coach. We help make building wealth with real estate clear. But if I had a crystal ball, real estate's pretty darn good for at least another 3 years. And we second homes explode. I don't know what do you think the spring home buying season is going to look like? Do you think we're going to have a big boom? I'm not sure. I hope so.
I think, like you said, real estate, especially in local places like the places you and I live, Oregon, Arizona, you've got still such this influx. We're fine. And like you said, the biggest point you made is what I grew up in '08, so did you. We all felt that, right? And so I always kind of like a shiver when I think about it coming back, and I feel like it's got to. But here's the reality: equity's the difference now. There was very little equity held in '08, '09. Hence, now you've got people with more equity than ever. So I think real estate is going to be a fantastic career for the people. Here's what scares me, Dave. There's a lot of people today that in this market, as good as it is, are having trouble because they haven't built platform. They haven't engaged systems. Their model hasn't changed or altered in 15 years. And they're making enough, but they're not growing, or they're losing just a little in the greatest real estate market ever. That's what tells you my best ones are like, I need more. I need more lead conversion. I need more human talent in my team. I need a bigger footprint. The smart ones know now is the time to be aggressive and be on offense, not on defense. You seeing the same thing in mortgage?
Yeah, absolutely. Amber is actually doing a how-to presentation. And one of the big problems that I do think we'll probably have through this whole spring home buying season is where the appraisal's not coming in at the purchase price. And people having to actually pay more than the list price to get the home that they wanted. And so I think navigating that is going to be a problem that top teams need to solve all year. But in terms of just, if you're in the real estate business and you got a license and you want to win, it's like, it's never been better. There's never been more tools. There's never been more tech. You just need to unlearn some things that aren't serving you, and you need to relearn some things that aren't. Because I don't know who did this quote, but the quote was, the illiterate of the 20th century will not be those who can't read and write. It'll be those who can't unlearn, relearn, and learn new things. That's just the way the world is going. It's changing. Right now there's this new social media platform, Clubhouse. It's exploding in the mortgage space. I don't know how much it's exploding in the real estate space. I don't know that everybody needs to learn how to do it right now. But you need to check it out. And if it becomes a big deal, okay, we got Facebook, we got Instagram, now we got Clubhouse. And the professionals that can navigate that and unlearn and relearn new things, a decade of awesomeness, in my opinion.
I agree. I think the real estate space can continue to be better, but unfortunately in our world, the real estate agent credit card is littered with things that they paid for that they never adopted. The key won't be purchasing, it'll be adopting. So make learning part of your week, part of your month, every single day. And I'm telling you, I have a couple of clients with NDAs, as do you. The stuff coming down the pipe and the aggressive financed nature that it's coming, the speed is going to get quicker with how things change. You have to have your eyes open and be ready.
So let me give you guys just a minute of thoughts on how to adopt a new technology. And we teach this because we roll out Mortgage Coach at big companies, little companies. First thing, write down your why. Like if you can't write down in 2 sentences, why am I going to adopt this new technology? Why am I going to start being active on Clubhouse? Like write it down. And the more personal it is, the more valuable it is, the more likely it is you're going to get through the pain of change. And then what we say at Mortgage Coach is you got to do it 20 times. And if it's a CRM, you got to do it 20 times. If it's text video, you got to do it 20 times. If it's bomb video, you got to do it 20 times. And not over 20 weeks, like 2 weeks, no more than 30 days. So write down your why, whatever it is that you want to adopt and do it 20 times. If you do it in 2 weeks, you're guaranteed adoption and success. If you do it within a month, you'll probably be successful. If you do those 20 more than a month, you probably won't ever adopt it, just FYI. And then results. Like, what are your results? Write down your results at the end of that 2 weeks or that 30-day period of time. If you're a leader, drive this with your team, documented why, 20 reps, and then share the success. Like if you're a branch, you run a small group or a team, guys, that's it. That formula, those 3 things, documented why, 20 reps, documented shared success, works. I've been doing this for a while. I've managed to get, I think it's more than 13,000 loan officers doing the mortgage business differently. And that's our change formula. That's our adoption formula.
I love it. That's awesome. That's an unbelievable tactic. And everybody running a team who's asking people to learn a little bit more would work with. All right. Any technology you see out there that you really like, man, this thing's sexy. Is it Clubhouse? Is it something else that you've seen? What are you seeing that really wow, that's awesome. I like that.
So it's the thing I started doing last year, and it's kind of low tech, but it's high tech. It's text video, man. I mean, I love, call it email, text apps. We use Vidyard. BombBomb's big in our community, but I love text video. I do think Clubhouse is legit. I mean, we at Mortgage Coach are doing a morning huddle and an end of day huddle. I'm using our community. So leaders, top producers that do over $100 million a year that are, good moderators, good coaches, good leaders are staffing that. So I do think that's a very interesting new social media platform that I'm experimenting with. And it's looking like, like I always look at things like what's busyness and what's business. And there's a lot of things that are busyness that aren't business. And then, by the way, there's a lot of ways of taking things. Like there's a way as an elite mortgage practitioner where Facebook is business. And guys, there's a way that Facebook is busyness and it's sucking the life away from your goals and your success. But I think of social media platform, Clubhouse is very interesting, and text video, guys. It's if it was a closing thought, if you're not doing text video, start doing it. For real estate professionals, imagine if you just went on a listing appointment, you met with the family, and then like within an hour, you put a little text and you said, "Hey family, it was so great meeting with you." You told me, call it I'm talking 15 seconds, where you just let them know that. And what do they get from that? In text, they're seeing that your face, that you care. You're not telling them that I'm modern and I leverage technology. You're showing them that you're modern and you leverage technology. So I like that. I think that's a cool idea. And then of course, Mortgage Coach. For any real estate professional listening to this, ask your loan officer, are you a mortgage coach? And if the answer's, then if they're not, go, why not? And if they say, oh, I'm old school, like they need to be new school. You need to push your partners to leverage modern experiences. And if they're not doing it, you need to push them to do it.
I love it. I'll tell you, the reality is most of the best tech available is the easy stuff that everybody can do. Everybody can text video. And I've got really good groups that say, I want your intro and your follow-up to be done in video. And when you do that, people see your face, people see emotion, they see passion. I had somebody say, well, I'm not good on video. I'm like, well, I've got news for you. You meet people in person. That's how you look. You can't change it. Okay. But you know what's funny? People do business with people they like. Simple as that. Video is an easier way to form a bond and relationship, especially now where things are a little different. It's not quite as social as it's always been. Great point, man. Man, I love it. Anything you want to leave with people? Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I want to push realtors to push your loan officers. The best loan officers, they have a great conversation with the family, whether it's on phone or on Zoom. And then that's a trend in the mortgage space that we teach and train. You get done talking to that family, you put a 1 minute or less text video, setting expectations. It was so nice to meet with you. You told me your goal was this. Here's the easiest way to fill out, and don't call it an app, call it a questionnaire. I put a link to our questionnaire right here, and then edify your agent. Like that loan officer should be in that 1 minute video saying, you're so lucky to be working with X realtor. Guys, that's what the best loan officers are doing. And of course, when they're giving, they gave the link for the app with a video, which 2 years ago, that was not happening. All in a year, maybe 2 years, almost every mortgage app now is like Rocket Mortgage. So that's just an example of innovation that's taken place. But now when they give advice, it should be a link. And if your mortgage partner isn't using text video or doesn't have video, I think you should be pushing them to do that. Those would be my closing thoughts.
I would say this: the team you surround yourself with in ecosystem, yourself, the leader, the real estate team or agent, the mortgage partner, the title partner, the people that you're going to need to use as resources to give a great consumer experience, they've got to be in lockstep with being a modern professional practitioner of the future. So you all need to have a good video program. You all need to edify each other. You all need to work to keep them in that open ecosystem, which is best in class. Because remember now, everybody's trying to parachute in and pull out that consumer over to their thing, right? The reality is when you have the best people who are taught to use a system, a model, the things that make them look more modern, you can't lose. If you don't, you're just going to get wiggled away every single year and have your market share dip down just a little bit every year until all of a sudden it's a problem. Dave, really appreciate it, man. Thank you. Had an absolute blast, and congrats on your success. Everybody, we're going to have a picture up right now. You'll be looking at it right now of the Modern Real Estate Summit. We have multiple sponsors who will be able to give tickets away. If you want your own ticket, you can go ahead and buy it. It will sell out. We'll be done doing it at 15,000 tickets. We've got people all over the United States, 32 of the most high-end practitioners, content-rich, micro data. It will be the best event of the year. Don't miss it in real estate.
Thank you so much, Steve. Had a blast.